Going back and playing against your alma mater as an assistant, and then now going back, and playing your alma mater as a head coach. It's kind of been there, done that. But that is an interesting part about this profession, about being involved with the state of Virginia. Having been involved with the in-state schools during my playing and coaching career. So it is, the importance of both sides and how they deem the importance of a win and being competitive, the recruiting aspects, the alumni aspects, the water cooler talk, on those Mondays. And so it does give you, a unique perspective about it. But I am the head coach at William & Mary, and my goal and my job is to win games here. And so that's where the priority and focus is. They have a really, really good defense. They're inside backers, they're interior D linemen. Those kids, they play hard. They're aggressive. You can tell they've been in the weight room. They've done things to get them really, to put them in positions to be effective and minimize your running game. And, when you do that, then you have to go to the airways. But the thing that they also do is they rush the passer really well. They make you one-dimensional because they're going to shut down the running game and then make you, create those third and long situations where they can get after you. So again, my hat goes off to the players and the coaches that put them in position to be effective, and they're quite effective, and they're as good as we've seen, even not just with the limited number of games this year, but over the years, the teams that we've seen play against us. The intention is always to identify those young men who have fit the criteria in terms of classroom expectations in the community, their contributions on the field, and things like that. And so we as a staff will talk about where we are with that at the conclusion of our season, and we'll have exit interviews with our players to just to kind of assess, give their assessment of how they thought they played, but also what we thought they did, how they're doing academically, and all those things. And it's all, Hayfall has been such an integral part of William & Mary and awarding scholarships to young men that are deserving. We are faced with the challenges of this pandemic and what it's caused in terms of how you go about doing that. But we will sit back after the season and assess where we are, because I'm always in favor of rewarding those who have done things, in a consistent manner and contributed to our team, in a lot of ways. Rise is involved in that next man up mentality where, we had some issues with tight ends in terms of availability, and he got a chance to go in the game and make his first catch and had blocks and played on some special teams units. And so when I refer to this young class eventually being a really, really good a group of young men, he's one of those guys. I mean, he's got the prerequisite, size and weight. He can only get bigger, faster, and stronger. So a lot of our guys are going to be living with our strength and conditioning coach to get them bigger, faster, stronger. And Rise, one of those guys, I think is going to be, that true tight end where he can be an on the line blocker. He can be a guy that, can catch passes and be back in the backfield to provide pass protection, provide some special teams depth. So, the tight end is back in our repertoire in terms of what we use offensively. And he's a good young tight end, and look forward to his process of becoming a better player. I think through the game experience, those things that happen in the game, the response, better. But when you look at the physical part of it, you always want your guys to be healthy. And this being quite possibly the last game for us this season, you go in it with a sense of, are you healthy enough that you'll affect, a competitive outcome? I think from the football IQ parts about not only playing them, the games after them, the practices after playing Richmond, the experiences, film watching and learning. And then now you get to the point where, you get a chance to play them again. I know there'll be some similarity, but, there'll probably be some things that'll be different. We will do some things that are different. have different personnel that'll be playing because of out of need and because of just out of game planning. So, we'll see how much of an improvement. Obviously, the talk is about having a chance to win your last contest before you get into the rigors of preparing for a fall season. The implications of, like I said, the Capital Cup. We can only control the fact that we can have another win. What it does to Richmond, and that's not our, what we're thinking about. We're thinking about getting another W at home. Our seniors that'll be leaving their last games, those types of things. And so the chance to win your final game, send some seniors out, we just talked about some of the familiarities that not only do I have with both programs, that some of our players do as well. A lot of players from Richmond, from Virginia that were recruited by them and know their coaching staff. So it's, all those implications are important, but the most important is to come out on the other side of it with a competitive win. Well, the mentality of being a competitive football team, ending up on a note that you can say we improved in a lot of areas, knowing that you played the number one team in FCS football, knowing that you played a really good Richmond team, and being able to be competitive enough to come out with a victory. Last game it was back and forth, a physical game. Fourth quarter, they drove it up the field and scored at the very end. So this is a good football team, and I assess our guys as being good football players as well. And so if you can be competitive and play a really good football team for your last game going into, sets the impetus for going into your fall season. And I think that's what's first and foremost on coaches and players' minds. You want your linebackers to be, your leading tacklers. Now, Marcus is a free safety, and a lot of times we play a down safety look. So obviously, for run game purposes, him having tackles is important. Stabby has done a great job of just being a young player who is instinctual, very physical. Most times he's in the right gaps, he's in the right places. He's played against some good teams, as I mentioned before. And, he's a guy that I think is really going to be a really good player again. And it speaks to the youth of our football team with two players that are, that are consistent contributors, and I think Marcus is going to, if you look at him again, he's all but close to 6'3". He has the size, the football IQ, the athleticism to be a really good free safety, good enough to be down in the box, but also good enough to, play the middle of the field or play some man coverage, so I'm really excited about, those two guys. You talked about Rye Yates, you talked about a bunch of other guys, Emo, I could go on, but, it's those two have done a good job of being very physical players for us.